And startback retract is starting.
RP1 bleed.
Safety cradle arms are open.
T-minus 1 minute, that's when you'll hear the call out Falcon 9 is in startup. That means that the Falcon 9 flight computers have gone into startup mode and they are now autonomously controlling the rest of the countdown. At about T-minus 2 seconds, we will ignite the flight computer will ignite the engines, and we will check the power on those engines for a liftoff at T-minus 0 when the hold downs release. Just a reminder that this is an instantaneous launch window tonight. If we have a hold for any reason, we will have to scrub for tonight, but we do have a backup window at March 5th at 1:38 a.m. Eastern Time. The Dragon team has given us the thumbs up for that the spacecraft is ready to go. The range is also green, and we're looking good. Like I said earlier, the weather is looking fantastic at the Cape for both launch and recovery. With just about 4 minutes and 30 seconds left before liftoff, let's listen into the final countdown on the launch nets.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition, liftoff.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
We knew it was coming. The whole world now has seen. Within 24 hours of us releasing Panodrama online, Panodrama, a documentary that categorically proved, with evidence, the establishment, working with the media, working with far left George Soros funded organisations to destroy the people speaking against them. The proof and evidence was there. Within 24 hours we had 1.5 million online views. By now that would have been 10 million. And within 24 hours I'm completely deleted from the internet. The censorship is real. We've got them rattled. They fear us. They genuinely fear it. They fear a movement that's growing. Now, the message is simple. When they raided my house 3 times in the first 6 months of the English Defence League, they thought that would stop me. It didn't. When they put me in prison and locked me in a room and had me nearly beaten to death, they thought that would stop me. It didn't.
There are 3 main categories of weather things that the SpaceX and the range looks for. One of those is upper level winds, the other is ground level winds, and the other is the anvil, cloud, and lightning rules. Right now there's no weather constraints for launch today. So as the team has mentioned, there are no people on board Dragon today, but we do actually have one special passenger flying, and her name is Ripley. You can actually see her sitting there in the live views we have from Dragon, getting ready for launch. Ripley will be gathering some very important data for us in advance of our first crew missions, and she's also taking up a zero-gravity indicator in the shape of the Earth, which you can see the blue Earth figure right next to her in the seat closest to the camera. Once we are clear of the Earth's gravity, that zero-G indicator will be free to move about the cabin. Let's take a closer look at Ripley's role and on her trip to the International Space Station.
As a part of our Demonstration 1 mission, we have a special passenger on board. The technical term for a special passenger is an anthropomorphic test device, or in short, an ATD. But we're just going to call her Ripley. My name is Ali Reza Farjud, and I'm a senior dynamics engineer here at SpaceX. Ripley's job is to feel everything that an astronaut will feel when they fly on Dragon. She is essentially full of sensors across her body, including the head, neck, and spine. For this mission, Ripley is going to use 10 out of her 30 sensors to give us all the information we need about the most sensitive parts of her body. She is going to give us information about her body loads and the seat loads, and we're going to use all that information to analyze and make sure our predictions are correct, to design tests and understand exact behavior of the seat system in Crew Dragon. From liftoff to splashdown, essentially she is going to tell us how she feels during the whole mission. We also have a microphone around her ears, so we're going to hear whatever she hears. The goal of this mission is to make sure that the crew are going to be safe, comfortable, and enjoy the ride on Dragon. During a nominal ascent, the crew will feel like they're riding on an exciting roller coaster ride. On the way back, during a nominal splashdown, the crew will feel like they are diving into a swimming pool. Interestingly, this is not the first time we're using this technology to make sure that the crew are going to be safe. The first time was in 2015 on the paddleboard test. In addition to these tests, we're doing a lot more testing to make sure all the worst case scenarios are understood, the crew are going to be safe, and all our injury metrics are within limits. We're going to be using this technology again in the future. In fact, Ripley is going to be flying in our in-flight abort test later this year. We're not going to be getting real-time data for this mission. Once Ripley comes back home, she is going to give us all the data, and that's going to get us one step closer to human spaceflight for everyone.
We are at T-minus 34 minutes and 38 seconds. The call for propellant load is coming up in just a few moments here, so let's listen in for that call out on the nets.
So in a second here, we'll get an image of the inside of Dragon. All right, so some of the easiest to spot differences between Crew Dragon and Cargo Dragon. First, notice these white composite panels. Those are there to close out the crew's habitable cabin space from the spacecraft's primary structure, as well as the components behind those panels that the crew does not need to access. Another very noticeable interior change is that we've added carbon fiber seats, which are custom sized for each crew member. Crew Dragon can fit up to 7 astronauts, but our first crewed flight will have 2 astronauts, followed by operational missions which will carry 4, each of them wearing a SpaceX-designed spacesuit. And as you can also see in the video, there's also a touchscreen control panel. While Dragon is fully autonomous, we have added this for redundancy so that the crew can navigate the spacecraft manually in the event of an emergency.
And those NASA astronauts have been working with SpaceX from early on to provide input into Crew Dragon's design. Right now they're finishing their training on all of the features of the spacecraft and the spacesuit using simulators.
Second stage burn continues to burn nominally.
That's right, we're over 7 minutes since that liftoff. Feels like it was 30 seconds ago. Continuing to carry Dragon up. It's going to make it to that initial orbit after it separates. The separation coming about a minute after that second stage cutoff.
Stage 2 propellant tank pressures are looking good. The burn continues to be healthy. Now coming up in about 10 seconds, that entry burn is going to start. Hopefully we'll have onboard video and you'll be able to watch. Let's listen in on the call-outs.
Stage 1, FTS is safe.
Stage 1, entry burn has started.
Look at that plume. Switch 3, N1D engines reigniting. Burn is going to continue on for about another 18 or so seconds.
Yeah, so a little back-to-back action now as we see stage 1 coming back down towards Earth, stage 2 still making its way up into outer space. The Dragon still nestled on top, getting ready.
Stage 1, entry burn, shutdown.
And there's the end of that stage 1 shutdown.
Stage 2 is under terminal.
Okay, so stage 1 is going to continue to coast its way down using those grid fins for attitude control and steering.
Next
And in just
milestone,
under a
Seco.
minute.
Sternship, AOS.
Ah, that's right. It's coming up in about 10 seconds. Invex throttling down for Seco.
Stage 1 is transonic.
And we have had a successful shutdown. Vim back. All right. At the start of that burn, stage 1 will be traveling at 275 meters per second. That single engine burn is going to bring that from 275 to 0.
We did just hear that stage 1 landing burn has started.
All right, let's see if we get it. About 500 kilometers away from where it launched from. The vehicle will now undergo its safing procedures, and the recovery team will make sure it's strapped down and it'll make its way back to Earth. Or sorry, back to Cape Canaveral. It's already on it. So there's still a lot more to go here. We have Dragon separation coming up. Let's go back to Tom Perderio to cover that next big milestone.
Wow, what a landing. Coming up very shortly in just about 20 seconds here, the Dragon spacecraft is going to be separating from the top of the Falcon 9 rocket. Separation should be occurring around 11 minutes and 5 seconds, just about now. Let's wait for confirmation.
Dragon, separation confirmed.
And there it is. You're looking at a view from the top of the second stage of the Falcon 9 rocket. And hard to make out in the shadow of the Earth, but that is the Dragon 2 spacecraft flying in space for the first time after a successful separation. This is a great day for everyone here at SpaceX and NASA. Let's go back over to Gary Johnson and see how they're handling it over there. It's kind of crazy over here. How is it over there, Gary?
Thanks, Tom. We were definitely enjoying hearing some of the cheers from over you guys. You can actually kind of see behind us. We got quite a number of viewers here in the International Space Station Flight Control Room. Very exciting time that we have now that they're waving. So this is, for us here in Mission Control Houston, this is just the beginning. Now that Dragon is in orbit, we have just over a day until Dragon's scheduled to be docked to the International Space Station. There's a lot of milestones to get through. The crew have been, again, reviewing their procedures, getting ready for some of those moments, again, monitoring the approach and even performing some commands while the Dragon is close enough. But again, there's a lot of work to do. We have docking scheduled for 6 a.m. tomorrow. We'll continue to monitor Dragon during that time. In the meantime, we'll toss to Lauren and Dan to witness some of these final milestones of Dragon now that it is in orbit. Back to you.
Good afternoon. The Taoiseach saying it could be some time before things start getting back to normal. But we're now looking towards the recovery phase. This will be a considerable challenge and is certain to take a few days. And I'd like to reassure everyone that I directed that the full resources of the state work together to get Ireland moving safely again.
The snow drifting which has occurred is going to cause particular problems. Local roads will take a lot of time and will be very difficult to get clear. Individual houses and indeed some communities may be inaccessible for some time.
The advisory to stay indoors has been lifted, but unnecessary travel is being discouraged. Earlier, this woman in Sandy Cove went for a swim in some choppy waters. She was later rescued. And coastal flooding remains a threat. The blizzard may have gone, the snow remains, and the thaw, when it comes, could bring with it some new challenges.
There you go. I hope you enjoyed SpaceX the movie, and I'll be back on Monday night. See ya.